Hello and welcome to another Arkeys video and to a new 2 million credit time trial challenge on Gran Turismo 7. We are at Tokyo Expressway, the central clockwise layout, and we are in the newly added 1995 Nismo 400R. This is the big update day. It's the release day of update 1.40 and there is a lot of things to cover in that one. I am only going for now to cover this time trial, but I will definitely have a look at all the other new stuff. But for now, let's just get straight into this one. So I have been waiting for the servers to go back online and we are ready to jump in. And as mentioned, you can see we've got new weekly events in the offline section, and we've also got some new stuff in the Legend dealership. I grabbed all of those 3 cars there, and for now we are jumping into sport mode, and there is a prize for us for the Alsace time trial challenge. Let's grab that. And I also noticed we've got an SR bar, and my SR is dangerously low at the moment. And we are jumping into this one. The first thing I do, of course, is to graze the wall. Don't do that. It's so easy to get your times invalidated here. And now real life started to disturb me as well. Here I am about to get interrupted, and unfortunately that wasn't the first interruption this morning. I usually try it for an hour and see how far I get, but today that got messed up a tiny bit. But either way, we are carrying on, and if you've already done this time trial, you will maybe already notice that I am doing it wrong with the gears. You are supposed to short shift this car, but I haven't figured that out yet. This is still very early doors, not that much of a reference to go by, so I'm just trying my best. We're coming down the hill. The major trick on this track is to remember to brake early, so you have got time to let the car regain some grip so you can turn in and aim for the inside, and then you just have to learn when you can exit, because it's so easy to run wide. It's also easy to hit the inside walls. It's basically a tricky one. This is not a very good lap, so I'm not trying to explain what I'm doing here. We're just trying to survive, not hitting the walls along the way, but we are about to go across the line for our first attempt in a not very fast 1:26.057, and you can see it is early. Wait a minute, I think this is the proper interruption coming. Sorry, we have to interrupt the program for a moment, and I had to do a very boring run, sort some private matters, and then I hurried back to get back into the time trial here, because I would like to do this before I have to go to work myself. We are on another lap now. I'm going around, that was turn 1, in 3rd gear. You can actually do that in 4th gear, which I haven't learned yet. Coming down the hill, make sure the car doesn't run wide. It can get a bit jumpy, a bit sketchy and a bit understeery as you're coming down a hill. And you can actually see it now in hindsight that the Ghost is pulling away from me slightly. This is a tricky corner. I almost run wide there. There is a very early brake marker you can actually use. I will get to that when we go through a lap again coming down the hill. Also brake early, aiming for the inside. Be patient. Make sure you have got the space to run wide without hitting the wall. And also keep the momentum up coming up the hill. This is almost flat out. Maybe there's a tiny lift coming into the tunnel. Yeah, there was a tiny lift. And then I'm braking where you've got those big dotted lines. That's sort of my brake reference for coming out of the tunnel. And here I don't really know what my reference is, but it is brake early, search for the inside line, and just be patient because it's so easy to understeer into the wall. Well, we are down to a 24.385, and yeah, you can see we are way past 9 o'clock, so that driving around in real life took some time as well. Now I have loaded a new Ghost. We are going again, and I am going to cut out a big chunk of this lap. I'm losing a lot of time coming out of the tunnel, coming up the hill. But despite that, we are still going to get in a tiny improvement. I'm still doing the wrong gears, so just ignore that, but we are down to a 24.261. And on this lap, I'm still using the wrong gears, but we still get off a big improvement. I am using this phone sign up here as a brake marker for turn 1. And just make sure to be patient, try to stay on the inside so you have some room to exit. And yeah, still maybe a tiny lift coming down there. You can see the car actually jumps a bit. And here I'm using that yellow arrow there. That's my brake marker. You have to brake so early for this one, and don't brake too hard. Aim for the inside and really be patient so you can get on the power on the exit without running wide. Coming into the tunnel, this is sort of by feel the brake marker for this one, but it's the same thing. Brake early, make sure you can let the car coast in, and we are doing a better job than previously. Coming up the hill here, I think this might be where I gained a big chunk of the time compared to the current time I've got. Braking at the start of the big dotted lines, still in the tunnel there, and still some wrong gears, ignore that, and just be patient around this corner. It's longer than you think, and it's so easy to hit the wall. We are down to a 123.433, and after this I actually went and watched a replay of the fastest times and saw the short shifting, and this took me many laps to readjust to that, but finally we got somewhere. This is not a big improvement. I am still trying to get used to using the higher gears. I am going up to 5th gear and the car gets a bit more understeery, but that makes this a long 5th gear run that is faster. And this is actually a better line than in my final run, even though my final run is a fair bit faster than this. But we will get to the final run. This is the penultimate run. We are coming into the tunnel, and yeah, basically just as you're starting to go downhill, you need to slightly come on the brakes there, and we are coming up the hill. I'm staying in 4th gear now. That's the new thing as well, and still a tiny bit of lifting to make sure I don't run into the right hand side wall there. Still the same brake marker, but I think, yeah, I'm staying in 4th gear this time. You can possibly use just a tad of 3rd gear just for the rotation, but you need to exit in 4th gear. And also here, 3rd gear for rotation, but up to 4th gear there is plenty of turbo boost in this one, and we are across the line in a 123.317, and you can see after that I got in a lot of invalidated laps, but this is my final run. So using that phone sign as a brake marker for turn 1, aiming for the inside, be patient on the throttle, let the car coast in until you got the right line, then you can come on the power. Be careful not running wide, and a long nice 5th gear run through the tunnel coming up the hill. Soon we will be looking for the small yellow arrow on the left hand side, and this time I mess up this corner. I still brake a tiny bit too late, and you can clearly see how much understeer you get if you're coming over that hill just into the corner. It's so tricky to recover, so that cost me some time. So that also shows me that I'm not done with this yet. We are coming into the tunnel, widening the line as much as we dare without running into the wall, and also just keeping up the momentum up the hill, and yeah, a tiny lift into the tunnel, very, very tiny. You just need to make sure to sometimes get a tiny bit of extra weight on the front tires. Staying in 4th gear, and now the final corner, and this time I think I'm just being rather cautious because I could see this was going to be a good time. And we are going across the line in a 122.787. Unfortunately, immediately afterwards I hit the wall, so I am bailing out for now. I have probably spent little under an hour driving and then a detour into the real world, and you can see I've got a screenshot from just before I started to do the voiceover. The times are coming down, but I'm still fairly safe. This is a fun time trial challenge. This track was a frequent track back on Gran Turismo Sport in Daily Race A, so I'm feeling fairly familiar here. And I think there is more time in it for me, considering the mistakes I actually did on my fastest attempt there. But I hope you enjoyed the video, found it entertaining and maybe even somewhat useful. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you next time. Bye bye.